Hi everybody, welcome to Hey Boo. How how was your weekend this week? How was your week this week? I'm sorry. Y'all had a good week?
Well, we went to the 1812 battlefield today because the reenactment was this weekend.
Wow.
Let me tell you how that went.
How
It
did that go?
sucked. It was not worth the $30 that we paid to get in for the three of us to go.
It was whack.
It sucked. The most exciting thing of the day was seeing the horses.
That
If the
was the Hey
horses
Boo rant, huh?
if the horses are the most exciting thing in a reenactment, you need to revisit your acting career. That's all I'm saying. That's all I got.
That
Wow,
was Chrissy's Hey Boo
that's
rant
sad.
for the day.
It's very sad because it is a historical battle and it's a huge battle. I just yeah, it's
Where
sad.
is that located?
Here
In Indy?
in Indiana.
Indiana.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yep. Yep. So that was my day. And I hurt my knee. I went to a wedding yesterday. It was a beautiful wedding, but I hurt my knee. So every time I step, I'm in pain. But other than that, it's been a fairly decent week.
That's good. How about you, Crystal? You have a rant?
Nah, work just was really long this week. This weekend, I've just been cleaning and trying to catch up, and of course, that sucks as usual.
Yes. So today's show is on nursery rhymes, Grimm nursery rhymes. We did a few of them last week, but we wanted to get back on the fairy tales. So we're gonna do Grimm nursery rhymes. Oh yeah, and I want to say that this month is National Breast Cancer Awareness.
Awareness month.
I don't have it on my banner because we don't have no pink ribbon. But I just want to give a shout out to Yvette because she's like 3 months free of it. So that's good.
Oh,
Yeah. So that's really bad.
that's
So,
amazing.
oh, yes, it is.
I had to put a pink ribbon on something.
Yes, I would have to find a pink ribbon and put it on for the rest of the month. I
Yeah.
asked them if he had one, but he
The
said
ghost
no.
has a pink bow.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Yep.
Hey, there's our third um lady who is sick. Everybody
Well,
pray for Jennifer.
Jennifer,
Everybody pray for our other Hey Boo Queen lady. She's not feeling well.
this Howard. Hello, ladies.
Hello, Howard.
So we're talking about Grimm nursery rhymes. Some nursery rhymes that has what like
Dark meanings.
dark. Yeah, that's what I was going to come up
We
with.
kind
Dark
of
meanings.
we kind of touched on it last week while we was going over the Grimm fairy tales, and the people in the audience was more leaning toward nursery rhymes and the darkness that are behind those. Um, so each of us chose two nursery rhymes to look at in depth and see what the true meaning of those are. I can pull them up on YouTube, and I think we're going to discuss them as well. But it's up to the girls whether they want me to pull it on YouTube and
Yes.
share the video or what we're going to do from there. Um, but I think Crystal, are you starting or who wants to start? I don't. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, that's fine. I
Crystal.
mean, my two are actually fairly long, so, but I'll go ahead and start with. I'm going to read the nursery rhyme itself, and then I'll kind of tell you a little bit of the background. The nursery rhyme is Who Killed Cock Robin? Who killed Cock Robin? I said to the sparrow with my bow and arrow. I killed Cock Robin. Who saw him die? I said the fly. With my little teeny eye, I saw him die. Who caught his blood? I said the duck. It was just my luck I caught his blood. Who'll make the shroud? I said the beetle, with my thread and needle. I'll make the shroud. Who will dig his grave? I said the owl, with my pick and trowel. I'll dig his grave. Who'll be the parson? I said the rock, with my little book. I'll be the parson. Who will be the clerk? I said the lark. If it's not in the dark, I'll be the clerk. Who'll carry the link? I said the linnet. I'll fetch it in a minute. I'll carry the link. Who'll be chief mourner? I said the dove. I mourn for my love. I'll be chief mourner. Who'll carry the coffin? I, said the kite. If it's not through the night, I'll carry the coffin. Who'll be bear who'll bear the pall? I said the crow, with the cock and the bow. I'll bear the pall. Who'll sing a psalm? I said the thrush, as she sat on a bush. I'll sing a psalm. Who'll toll the bell? I said the bull, because I can pull. I'll toll the bell. All the birds of the air fell a singing and a sobbing when they heard the bell toll for poor Cock Robin. So, supposedly, this was as early in mid 18th century, but this could have been quite a bit earlier as far as like the 15th century because there is actually a stained glass window at Buckleham Rectory in Gloucestershire that portrays this actual rhyme. It's supposedly it's got a lot of different meanings. It can be anything from a guy who had wrote a poem about the death of his pet birds to a mythological event that was the death of a god in Norse mythology, a parody of the death of King William II by an arrow while he was hunting, or the fall of a government in 1742. So there's quite a few different meanings from this nursery rhyme, but it all portrays a death. I mean, it seems like a lot of the nursery rhymes are all about death. It's really crazy. This one was actually, I believe, an English one, and I had never actually heard it before.
It is interesting that a lot of the nursery rhymes talk about death. And I mean, that one seems to in detail it from the time the death occurs and covering the body and putting the body in the coffin and then the pallbearers and I mean basically all the way to putting the person
Like
in the
the whole
ground.
9 yards.
Yeah,
Right, exactly.
like a pomp and circumstance for a funeral.
Yep.
Yeah,
That was grim.
yeah, for
I mean, I
sure.
can't imagine singing that nursery rhyme because when you think of nursery rhymes, you think of singing them to children. But I guess maybe back in that era, maybe it wasn't so much saying to the children. Maybe it was something done in a group setting. I mean, and I didn't even think to research that until just now because I mean, when they had gatherings and would be at the pub or wherever they got together, maybe that was something that they did was sing nursery rhyme or rhymes um, among one another.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
who's to say that this isn't something that maybe they did say at funerals, that this was like maybe a funeral song, funeral rhyme, type thing.
that's true because like nowadays when you do the the thing, you usually put a poem or something
Hmm.
that stands out for that person in the not the obituary, but the little booklet that you
The
get.
the card. The
Yes.
card too. In the back of the card they usually have a poem.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. A lot of them were sung to children as a warning. Be good and go to sleep or something bad will happen. Well, that's dark.
I think
Jeez.
that is true. A lot of stuff
Yep.
they did for warning so the children would be good. You can't do that
Wow.
nowadays. Yeah.
So in
Your
other
Well, and you
words,
have to remember too, back then they didn't, I hate to use the word coddle, but they didn't coddle children the way that we do nowadays. They didn't protect them from the grim truth of matters. We try to protect them, more from that nowadays. It was more opened, open back then.
yeah, that's true. That's true. But I guess back in that day too, I mean, look at it. I mean, they were getting married at, the age of 12, 13,
Hmm.
14. So by the time they hit teenage years, they were grown. Not that they
Right.
really were,
Exactly.
but that's just the era that they existed in. So maybe preparing
Hmm.
them for the evils of the world and reality was what was necessary, or they felt was necessary. I don't know. I'm firm. I think that we should be a little more, not that we should scare the fire out of our children, but I mean, we should be honest.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
you shouldn't sugarcoat absolutely everything so that they think that there is nothing bad out there in existence.
But some parents don't want to
Well, and
their
two,
children.
back in the 1700s, death was a normal thing. I mean, that happened on a daily. And it wasn't, families were, huge. So, for someone to die in your family or families that you knew probably on a daily or a weekly was not an unheard of thing. So, it wasn't as probably, I, I mean, I guess it would have been traumatic to a point, but I guess it become normalized when you're around it constantly.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. And then it wouldn't be such a shock or
Hmm.
such a I don't know what to do or how to react in this situation because they've already been prepared.
Right. Right.
I mean, what do you think, Jackie? I
True.
know you said some parents don't want to scare their kids, but I mean, your mom, your grandma,
They
what
never
is your
did.
perspective on that? Do you think
I
that
wish they
children
would have.
well,
I wish they would have scared me somewhat. But I mean, my mom and grandma never told me grim stories like that. I haven't even heard of them. That's the first time I heard of grim stories like this.
yeah. Well, and I mean, even as a child, I can remember being shielded from, death and bad things and bad people and a lot of the negatives that you face later on in life. And when you face them, it's it's an immediate shock because it's something that you don't know, you're not familiar with, you haven't been warned about. So, I mean, maybe they had it right back in the 17 and 1800s. I'm just saying,
Hundreds. Right. They
you
learned to
know?
deal with it, a lot quicker, you know, and they didn't hide it, per se. They didn't. It was there. It was reality. It was life at that time.
Right. So Irene said it's different here. Ooh,
I'm sorry.
that's okay. It's different here in Japan. Children have to go to school by themselves and come home alone or in groups together so they grow up faster, but they are more independent. Okay, so my question for you, and I have nothing wrong with that. I mean, I know I was riding my bike to school in kindergarten by myself, but I only lived a block from the elementary school. So my question for you, and I lived in a very small town. But my question for you is so what I know Japan culture is different from American culture. So then what is your take culturally speaking over there when it comes to these life lessons for kids? Is this something that you guys talk about from the time they're young? I mean, I know you guys have the suicide forest there, so I'm sure that that's something that's widely known. Um, but do you talk about it? Is it commonplace there with children per se?
Do they tell stories about it? Like not going
Ex-
there and stuff because
Exactly.
it's dangerous.
Is
That's
there
a good
rhymes?
point.
Is there a story? Is there a song? Is there something that you teach children when they're small? Jennifer, well, good point, but let's let's think about that, Jennifer. Some children just don't hear what you're saying unless you scared the fire out of them. They just don't. Some do, but others don't. Terrified even as adults. This is aligned with the state of the world. Well, that's true. That's true. But I mean, we talk about it with our children and don't hide anything from them. I try to do that with my kids, even from the time they were young. I'm, I don't sugarcoat much of anything. But a lot of parents don't agree with that.
Did you let them watch scary movies?
Um, they had to be a certain age and show maturity level. I mean, if they were mature enough, yes, I would. But like Austin, he still don't really get into scary movies, and that's okay because it's not his thing. The twins, they absolutely love horror films. My oldest, the only scary movie that he didn't like was It,
I didn't like
and
it.
he hates clowns because of it. But I mean, he wanted to watch it, so I let him watch it.
There's some I would laugh at, and I might have watched some when I was little, but not a lot. Until I moved here with Howard. Howard's a big fan of of horror movies.
It
But
depends. I'm standoffish about some. It depends on what is in the movie. Like, I don't get freaked out over people getting chopped up into pieces. Nothing like that. But when you bring religion and rituals and things of that nature in it, I'm guarded about what I do watch. Um,
did you ever let your children watch it? No, right, right. You said no until they got to maturity.
Until they showed they were mature enough, like, not that I was hiding it from them, but just where they could process what they were seeing and know that it's fake shit. You know what I mean? Crap. Sorry. My bad.
That's
Whoops.
okay.
Steven said, Christy, some people still don't listen. You're a prime example of that. Shut up. I can't cuss you on this show, sir.
I thought that was bossman.com.
Well, yeah, he can't comment on Facebook. They restricted him because he
Oh,
shared. It's
shit.
stupid. He shared too many times, so they restricted his account. I mean, he owns a network. Of course, he's going to share. Duh.
How How about when somebody dies? Did y'all like say, "Hey, I don't want my kids to go because they're so little. I didn't want them to see that." Because I think my kids did that to a couple of their kids. Didn't want to go to the funeral. I mean, the wake part, but let them go to the funeral part.
I never restricted my children ever going to a family death. They all, of course, attended their father's funeral. Um, and to lose a parent when you're still a child, I think, is traumatic in and of itself. But you need that closure. So they needed to go. There were some funerals that they opted not to go, but I gave them the choice. If they told me they wanted to go, then they got to go, and I was there to support them. If they told me they didn't want to go, I did not make them go.
Hey,
So
my mom brought me to my grandma's funeral, and I still got nightmares, and I can't see how this would happen. But as a little girl, I just saw her up on the cross, my grandma.
yeah, yeah.
So I guess that devastated me to see something like that and I'm still afraid to go. I didn't walk up to my mom, and I couldn't even walk up to my dad. You know, so I think that horrifies me to see something like that.
Yeah.
being a little kid and seeing my grandma and then thinking I saw something like that, I'm like, I'm just horrified.
Yeah. And that's understandable because again, you have to be able to process the feelings that you're going through. And did your mom not talk to you about it or kind of comfort you
Because
through the process?
I was deprived. I mean, I tell you this every week, but I was deprived as a child. My mom didn't talk to me about nothing.
Well, and
Mm.
see, I
you know?
mean, that's I mean, I'm not gonna disrespect your mama, but I just I think that's sad.
Yes.
That's sad because all three of us on here are mothers, and you want to be there to at least help them process what they're going through and help them
Yes.
understand
Hmm.
as,
Yes.
as they're going through it,
Yeah.
even if we can't fix it and make it better, because they have to know there's things in life that we can't fix,
That's right.
no matter what. Death is one of
Well,
those.
too, and I think they have to understand that there is a proper way to let those emotions out because if they hold those emotions in, it's going to be worse. You know.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, Irene. I don't like funerals here in Japan because everyone goes to the crematorium and put the bones in a huge ceramic jar, and I have no stomach watching the procedure. I say hell no.
Wow.
Okay, so you actually go there while they're burning the body?
Wow.
I see, like
I
over
couldn't
here,
do
that's
that.
not the way it works.
I
Like
couldn't do
that's
that.
all done, and you get your little urn, and then you do either bury it or take it home with you. You don't stand there for the whole process.
She said, "Yep."
Wow,
Hmm.
that's definitely different.
That is different.
I don't know. I mean, ladies, I don't know about y'all, but I don't. I'm about 99.9% sure that's not something I want to be privy to see.
Me neither.
I
Yeah.
The
No.
mean,
children
That's
go
that's
there
a
and
little
watch that.
too drastic.
That is. I mean, wow.
yeah. But I mean, think about it. Indians. I mean, their
Well,
their
I
their
mean, if you're
tradition.
brought up
Yeah.
in that culture, then
Yeah.
it's probably not a big deal. But yeah, I mean, if somebody comes from over here to over there, that would be, kind of drastic.
It is. It is.
Scott's Scott says, as a father, I think I'm more about talking to them about things than April does.
And that's okay, Scotty. I mean,
That's
it's
fine.
all women on here, so I have to say moms because we're not dads. But much love and much respect to dads too, because they play the same role that a mother does when it comes to parenting. I mean, they guide their children, they mold their children, they support their children. They they are supposed to co-parent with the mother.
Hmm.
But as with anything, you've got one parent that is usually the disciplinarian and one parent that is the fun parent. One parent that usually guides the roles and one parent that is usually goofing off. It's just the way it works. It's a balance. So, and I could see that being your role. Nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong.
We'll give you
Um,
the official hey boo stamp.
yep. Irene said our pets too. So did they burn the pets too, and you bring them there? Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Um, uh, every country, I guess, has a different way of doing things. Yep.
Well, I
She said,
think
"Yep."
if I'm not mistaken, and Irene, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I believe cremation in Japan is a necessity more than a want to because of the landmass and the availability of land. I would think. I mean, like I said, if I'm wrong, correct me, but that would be my perception of why, they actually do like probably more cremations than a lot of places. It's the law. Yeah, see?
It's still wow.
So
Yeah.
you can't just bury your loved one, you have to cremate them? I mean, is it a, space thing? Is that why? Because there's really no room for cemeteries?
Do y'all have cemeteries? I mean, they have to have
Good
cemeteries.
question.
Do you have cemeteries like where you bury people? You can't bury them. Why?
No,
Okay.
you can't bury him.
So, like in New Orleans, you guys have those what are those called? The above
The
ground where you
vaults,
put them.
Cribs, yeah.
crypts.
So, do you have those, Irene? Where you put them in a vault and it goes in the wall basically and it's not underground?
Just bear me and see. All right, here we go. Only older.
Only older samurai were buried, but everyone is cremated.
Wow.
Hmm.
Really? That is interesting. See, I have an aunt that's Japanese and is from Japan. I mean, this is crap that I should probably know, but I didn't have the first clue. My favorite part as a child was seeing the body at a funeral. It was a processing for me because I couldn't understand just being dead. I never felt that way, so it's like I had to see them, and I still wonder if they were really dead or like a mannequin in the casket. But would you say though, Jennifer? Okay, so forgive me when I say this, but you're different. So with
That's what I was
your
gonna think.
spiritual
Yeah.
gifts, death for you is far different, and I know that. So, did you have the gift then, or was you tapped into the gift then, or no?
Well, I can kind of
Purpose.
understand where Jennifer's coming from because for me to get like the final closure, I have to see that person. I at my grandpa's funeral per se, um, he chose not to be embalmed. So as soon as he passed, he had to go into the casket and they had to lock it. And I actually had to ask the funeral director to open the casket for me to be able to see him so that I could process that he was actually gone. So I can kind of get where Jennifer was is coming from with that.
So Irene sent a photo. Let me see if I can pull it up and you can share it. I get what you're saying too, Jennifer. I do. Let me get this pulled up. Okay. So share window. Okay, here you go, Jackie.
Wow.
So are we looking at all the samurais? Is that what we're looking at? And this, I mean, this to me, this is so small because
It
when you
is.
think of a graveyard or cemetery, they're usually massive. Just regular
Just for
people in the
people.
cemetery. Okay, so when did they? I mean, I'm curious. When did they change the law? My oldest sister has a strange habit. She takes pictures of everyone in the family that dies in their caskets. She has pictures of our family members in their caskets. I know that is taboo.
Yes. Huh?
Okay. For most people. So let me share a story on that one. So everybody knows that I lost a husband in 2019. His sister is one of those people. Now, I did not know this at the time, but she took pictures of him in the casket. Um, and she decided that it would be a good idea to send me those photos, I think maybe a week after he died. To me, it was shocking. I mean, and I guess for some people it's normal. It's commonplace. Back in 100 years ago, it was normal. You even had the funerals in your home, whatnot.
Mhm.
But to me, it was not. I was not okay with it, and that is so. Let me tell you, if anybody does that, okay, no problem. But you might want to warn the person that you're sending the photo to that you're sending their loved one to them. It's far different. I can look at pictures of other people, but when it's a close loved one, no, not so much.
I hear you.
Their bones are placed in pot and put in marble case. The whole family is in one plot. Louisiana does that, right? In those crypts,
Yeah.
you can
Right.
up to 4 people, right?
Yeah. 4, 6 depends on where you at.
Crystal knows what sister of mine that does that. Is Chris? I don't have an older twin. Steven,
All
trying to irritate me. This is the
right.
wrong show for that. Quit it. Is he still sitting over there?
Yeah, I see somebody moving.
I
Yeah, his
can't.
arm. See,
I
he's
can't.
waving. There's boss man right there.
I just can't.
Okay, what's the next nursery rhyme?
My next one is The Moon Has Risen. It's a German nursery rhyme that's been translated to English. It says, The moon is risen, beaming. The golden stars are gleaming so brightly in the sky. The hushed black woods are dreaming. The mist, like phantoms seeming, from meadows magically rise. How still the world reposes, while twilight around it closes, so peaceful and so fair. A quiet room for sleeping, into oblivion steeping the day's distress and sober care. Look at the moon so lovely, one half is shining only, yet she is round and bright. Thus oft we laugh unknowing at things that are not showing, that still are hidden from our sight. We, with our proud endeavor, are poor vain sinners ever. There's little that we know. Frail cobwebs we are spinning, our goals we are not winning, but straying further as we go. God, make us see thy glory, distrust things transitory, delight in nothing vain. Lord, here, O earth, stand by us to make us glad and Paris, and artless children once again. Grant that, without much grieving, this world we may be leaving in gentle death at last, and then do not forsake us, but into heaven take us. Lord God, O hold us fast. Lie down, my friends, reposing, your eyes in God's name closing. How cold the night wind blew, O God, thine anger keeping. Now grant us peaceful sleeping, and our sick neighbor too.
That still has to do about
There's
death.
not a whole Oh yeah, there's not a whole lot of information about this one except that it is, like I said, a German um, lullaby. It was written around 1779. And that's pretty much all that it really says. Not a whole lot about it. So I mean, it's kind of weird that there's not very much information about this one, where it actually originated, or anything like that.
Wow.
That
It's,
is interesting that it dates, I guess, so far back that just there's no information.
Maybe, maybe.
You all are deep tonight. I chose Lucy Locket, a rhyme about two prostitutes fighting over a broke man. Oh, Jennifer. Well, that
yes.
that
Uh,
that cuts
That's
me to a laugh.
yeah.
that's funny.
I can't.
That's funny. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. That's
But
super funny.
kind of, if you look at a lot of the nursery rhymes, it all deals with grief, strife, um, just sadness in general.
It does. Unless we're talking about the two prostitutes fighting over a broke man. We need to look that one. Let me look that one up.
Yeah, go ahead.
What she's Lucy
Read
Locket.
that one for Jennifer.
Lucy Locket. Hang on. I gotta look it up.
She's sick. She's got a sore throat. That's why she's not feeling well. Being on this show is not the best place to have a sore throat, because God knows you're going to have to say something.
I'm one of those broke men, Kevin said.
Looking for just the words. Hang on. Of course, it's gonna give me an ad.
I have it right here, Chrissy, if you want me to read it.
Go right ahead.
Lucy Locket lost her pocket. Kitty Fisher found it. Not a penny was there in it. Only Robin round it. And then the other version is Lucy Locket lost her pocket. Kitty Fisher found it. Nothing in it, but a bender round it. Historically, the pocket refers to a pouch worn around the waist by women in the 17th to 19th centuries. Um, tape, da, da. Trying to see what else it says here. Petticoat underneath.
What about the petticoat? That just fluffs out the dress.
Yep.
Yeah. Skirts or dresses of the time had an opening at the waistline that allowed access to the pocket, which hung around the woman's waist by a ribbon or tape. The opening in the skirt was formed by leaving unstitched near the waist the panel of fabric for the skirt. Um, it just kind of says, I mean, this is just from Wikipedia, so I mean, I'm not digging into anything major.
Jennifer says she lost her pocket, aka the rich man. Kitty stole him, and he was broke.
Nice. Well, you got to
So
do
that
what you got to do, and
said that that was about a man who was broke because of a girl.
Well, I guess I didn't get that out of that. Jennifer, I'm lost. Listen,
She said she lost her pocket, aka rich man.
the rich man.
Kitty stole him, and he was broke.
It
Who is
says the rhyme
he?
was first recorded by James in 1842, but there is evidence that it was popular in Britain and America, at least in the early 19th century. Various persons have been identified with Lucy Locket and Kitty Fisher. Um, the writer suggested that the two celebrated courtesans of the time of Charles II. So Lucy Locket was used by Kitty Fisher may have been. So those two names are referring to actually two people of some unfinished portraits. It looks like.
Stephen? Not today, sir. Not today. I can't. Well, Jackie, what was one that you chose?
Oh shoot. Okay, well, I chose. Wait a minute, let me see. Do I have to say the nursery rhyme too? Okay,
I mean,
yeah. Bye Bye Black Sheep was one, and Rockabye Baby.
so which
So
one do you want to talk about? And
pick one.
what? Listen,
Rockabye
man.
Baby. Rockabye Baby. Rockabye Baby on the treetop. When the wind blows, the cradle will rock. When the bough breaks, the cradle will fall, and down will come baby cradle and all. Rockabye Baby, gently you swing over the cradle, mother would sing. Sweet is the lullaby over your nest. The tenderly sings my baby to rest. That tenderly sings my baby to rest. From the high rooftops down to the sea, no one as dear as baby to me. We little hands, eyes shining and bright, now sound asleep until morning light. Rockabye baby on the treetop. When the wind blows, the cradle will rock. When the bough breaks, the cradle will fall, and down will come baby, cradle and all. So they said that one the Rockabye baby. Some people say that Rockabye Baby was not meant to be a nursery rhyme. Instead, it was allegedly about the political unrest of time and this origin story that Diddy was supposed to pin it in a British pub during the Glorious Revolution of 1688. The lyrics refer to a new heir to the throne born to King James the Second of England, and actually expressed the hope that the infant prince would die so that the reign of King James the Second would be overthrown.
Oh wow.
I could get that from that. I could get that meaning from that lullaby.
So Jennifer just sent me an FYI on the Lucy Locket that I was lost in La La Land over. And it says Lucy Locket had a regular customer, also known as a pocket, who obviously liked her services a little too much. As he quickly ran out of money and was dumped by Lucy. He then turned his attention to Kitty, and hence she found the pocket. And since he was broke, there was not a penny in it. The ribbon refers to the custom among prostitutes to keep their banknotes tied to their thigh with a ribbon. So the rhyme
Hmm.
is Kitty taunting Lucy for dumping her lover and taking him on.
Wow.
So she took him on, and she was a hooker too, and she knew he was broke. He must
Yep.
have. Well, listen, we can't go into all that because this is a family-friendly show. But y'all
There
can draw
must have
your
been a reason why she continued to serve him even though he was broke. Let's just put it that
Yes.
way.
exactly. He must have been a fantastic friend. Jackie.
Yeah.
Can't. I'm sorry, Jackie. Wrong show, y'all. Okay. What's Kevin talking about?
I ain't saying that nasty rhyme, or whatever you want me to say. No.
Oh, he
And
gave
I
you,
forgot it anyways.
he gave you a dirty rhyme.
Yeah, something like
Kevin,
that.
Kevin, this is a family-friendly show, sir. Oh, Jesus, take the wheel. Okay.
I guess they want us to be bad on here, huh?
I mean, probably,
Listen, they're laughing, yeah.
probably. So let me pull. What was your other one, Jackie?
How about yours? Ring around the rosy.
Yep, that's what I'm.
Do
I'm
that
gonna.
one real quick.
I'm gonna pull that up on my
And then I'll
phone.
do the last one.
Okay. Okay. Da. Let me get to it. I'm so unprepared. Well, I know it says ring around the rosy, pocket full of posies, ashes, ashes, we all fall down. But I think there's more to the song than that. Um, but they were talking about the Black Plague. They were talking about the rash that came from it. And the ashes, you return to the earth. So again, it's another nursery rhyme singing about the death. When they wore those, oh, what were those called? The masks that they wore during the plague. I can't remember the name of it, but so that's essentially what it's talking about
Yeah, I
is
can't either.
the people who got sick and died.
There again, another cheerful nursery
Death,
rhyme.
death.
Yep.
Let me look up the other one I had.
Okay, so blah blah black sheep, have you any wool? Yes, sir, yes, sir. 3 bags full. One for the master, one for the dame, and one for the little boy who lives down the lane. So this classic nursery rhyme has been attracted recent controversy. It has believed to be politically incorrect. Most scholars agree that it has little to do with slave trade. The most common conclusion is that it's actually about the great costume which was a tax on wool in the 13th century. Under the new taxes and under the new taxes, the price of a sack of wool was split between the former king and the church.
Okay.
And none of the little boy who crowds down the street lane. Wait a minute, I'm sorry. And none of the little boy who cried down the lane indicated that the poor sheep boys were left with no profits due to heavy tax. So I guess that one has to do about taxes.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's
Yes,
another one based on political things that they were teaching life lessons, I guess, and the crooked, corrupt government. I mean, wouldn't you take it that way?
yeah.
I mean, I would. Okay.
Well, all these nursery rhymes do have, things in common. They all deal with something that's going on in reality.
That's very true. Very true. London Bridge. Okay. So, London Bridge is falling down, also known as My Fair Lady or London Bridge, is a traditional English nursery rhyme and singing game. Who played this as a kid? Because I certainly did. Which is found in different versions all over the world. It deals with um, the falling down of London Bridge and attempts realistic and fanciful repairs to it. It may date back to the bridge related rhymes and games of the late Mid Ages, but the earliest records of the rhyme in English are from the 17th century. The lyrics were first printed in close to their modern form in the mid 18th century and became popular, particularly in Britain and United States. So the modern melody was first recorded in the late 19th century. I guess there's like two versions at least to the nursery rhyme. It looks like so the first edition London Bridge is broken down. Dance over my lady Lee. London Bridge is broken down with a gay lady. How shall we build it up again with a gay lady? Build it up with gravel and loan. Dance over my lady Lee. Have y'all ever heard that version? I have not.
Nope.
No.
That was the original. And then here's another one. Namby Pamby is no clown. London Bridge is broken down. Now he courts the gay lady, dancing over the Lady Lee. So that if you think about that, that seems to be they're celebrating that the bridge is broke.
Wow. Yeah.
So it was like a celebration that it wasn't anymore.
Isn't the bridge really broke?
Yes. Or it was. I don't know if it still is. I'd have to look that up. And here's another version. London Bridge is broken down, gold is won, and bright renown. Shields resounding, war horns sounding. Hild is shouting in the den, arrows singing, mail coats ringing. Odin makes our Olaf win. That definitely sounds political.
Yes.
Huh.
So it has
Oh,
political in it. It has dark meaning in it. It's some of them are dark. I wouldn't want that being told as a child. I like the happy ones.
Well, so this is saying that one of the versions, the what they thought could be the meaning of the song was children dying if they didn't offer a human sacrifice off the bridge. That's
Hmm.
crazy. It says bodies were found beneath London Bridge in 2007 while work was being carried out for the London Dungeons tourist attraction.
Hmm.
And so and this is again just a claim, but it's saying that they think that there were human sacrifices to watch over the bridge so it doesn't fall down. That's kind of dark.
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy. What's Kevin
Howard.
talking about? What?
No, Howard.
I
I
missed.
offer Jackie as tribute.
To what?
You are not offering Jackie his tribute, Howard.
He's going to sacrifice you off the London Bridge, Jackie. You better get up and kick his ass right now. Don't put up with that.
He's in there laughing. I can hear him. Yeah, like she's gonna come kick my butt.
Jack and Jill.
Look, he's
went up
still
to
laughing in there.
the bucket.
I
Oh,
would jump off that
Lord.
bridge willingly.
Is that Jack and Jill the rhyme he was talking about?
I think so.
Jump off the
Something like
bridge.
that.
I'm talking about Howard.
I can't, y'all.
Kevin, you're late. I already did that.
I can't.
Oh, do you want to sacrifice Yvette? Is that what you're saying? Like Howard sacrificing
Listen,
me?
I was reading. Are you talking about the way I said plague? Shut up, Stephen.
Yes. So Howard wants to sacrifice me, and his brother wants to sacrifice his wife. That's
Too
mean.
bad. Too bad. Y'all just stop it.
Y'all just mean people.
There's no sacrifices today. We're not even in London. Just saying.
Isn't part of London
sacrificed
Bridge
out.
supposed to be in Arizona?
Is it?
I thought that was in New England. Oh no, we ain't doing no accent Jackie.
I
No
thought it was
question.
actually in England.
Me too.
Scotland.
I thought they brought a portion over to Arizona of the London
Oh, when
Bridge.
they repaired it? You mean like a
Uh-huh.
piece says, well, I mean, maybe, but the actual bridge isn't. But a piece might be. When did they bring
No,
it over?
like a piece of the bridge. Yeah.
From 2007 when they did the repairs? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, yeah, Stephen was saying that they took the bridge completely apart in London and had it shipped over here to it's in Arizona. It may be Lake Havasu,
Lake Havasu.
Arizona.
And
They rebuilt it. They reconstructed it in Lake Havasu.
Lake Havasu Commission bought it from London. Before that, it was in crates for years.
Excuse me.
Oh, I thought you were
Bless you.
starting to laugh.
No, I sneezed.
I think that's when they actually found the bodies was when they were removing it to bring it over
to bring
here.
it over here.
Mm-hmm.
London Bridge is a bridge in Lake Havasu City, Arizona. It was originally built in 1830s and formerly spanned the river in London, England. In 1968, the bridge was purchased from the City of London. Had exterior granite blocks from the original bridge cut and transported to the United States for use in the construction of a new bridge in Lake Havasu City. A planned community he established in 1964 on the shore of the lake. Arizona Bridge is a reinforced concrete structure clad in the original masonry of 1830s bridge. The bridge was completed in 1971, along with a canal, and links an island to the Colorado River. Huh. Well, that's
Wow.
cool. The road trip. Let's
Wow.
go.
We'll be haunted.
I mean, I would say
Let's
if
go,
there
man.
were
I
six
thought it.
of
I
us,
thought it was there. I mean,
And that's in Arizona.
we're only like 8 hours away, 6 to 8 hours away.
Let's
I
go.
mean, that'd be cool. Let's go in the wintertime, though, because it's going to be hotter than I'll get out in the summer there.
Right.
Let's go.
I've been there in
Yep.
July
It's still
in
gonna. Well, I
Arizona.
don't know. Lake Havasu though. I thought it was.
Higher
It's higher elevation, so it's got a cooler climate.
I mean, it's Arizona, so there's no
It
cool
might actually
climate
be
in there.
cold.
I highly doubt that.
Oh yeah, they
Not
get snow in Arizona, dear.
I don't get cold
Yeah.
in the
More
snow,
than
ma'am.
Indiana.
No, I'm just
No.
saying though, it gets cold enough for it to snow.
Well,
They get
I
more snow than
mean,
Indiana.
I doubt that.
No, they do.
Howard Petrie.
Shit, we get more snow than
It's
Indiana.
okay. I'll push him in first.
Jackie, when you're finished with your show, I need.
That's just
Stop it.
this is mean.
Our past it.
I think she's frozen.
Huh?
I
I
think
thought
so
you
too.
were frozen.
You were freezing.
You were frozen. You were frozen there for a couple of minutes, a couple of seconds.
No.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
But it's a little after 1, and I mean, I'm sorry. It's a little after 7,
A little after the hour.
and thanks everybody for coming on and watching us on Hey Boo. Hope to see y'all next week. Bye, everybody. Have a great week.
Peace, love, and kindness.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.